Hi there folks, and welcome back to Rule of Thumb. Today I thought I'd bring you along because I'm going to can some beans. Now, I was talking with my friend Heather about canning beans because we both need to get more beans on our shelf. And we kicked around the idea of filming it, not filming it. And we decided to go ahead and film it, even though we both do what is considered rebel canning when it comes to beans. Let me grab the book here. Alright, so I'm going to read you what they say in this book, which is the Complete Guide to Home Canning from the USDA, National Institute of Food and Agriculture. So, for canning dried beans, they say, place dried beans or peas in a large pot and cover with water. Soak 12 to 18 hours in a cool place, drain the water. To quickly hydrate beans, you may cover sorted and washed beans with boiling water in a saucepan. Boil 2 minutes, remove from heat, soak 1 hour, and drain. Either way, time consuming. Then, you cover the beans soaked by either method with fresh water and boil for 30 minutes. Add a half teaspoon of salt per pint or 1 teaspoon per quart to the jar if desired. Fill hot jars with beans or peas and cooking water, leaving 1-inch headspace. Remove air bubbles and adjust headspace if needed. Wipe rims of jars with damp and clean paper towel. Adjust lids and process. Well, here's the thing. There's a number of things about this process that don't appeal to me. One, the length of time it takes to prepare the beans, which if that was all it was, I would do that. Just to, flow with procedure. But the real reason why I stray from their canning method is the texture of the bean. Now, I have canned beans following that exact procedure. Two things happen. One, if you notice it says fill the jars with beans and the cooking liquid to a 1-inch headspace. It doesn't tell you how much of that should be beans and how much of that should be liquid. And I can tell you from past experience, if you don't get that right, which I can't really tell you what right is, because I don't think I ever got right, because your beans still have to swell a little and shrink a little, your headspace gets a little wonky, and I don't like that. Two, I felt the final product, once I take it out of the jar and even just lightly rewarming them, I had beans with no texture left. And to me, texture is key. So when I went out trying to find information on why this happened, how I can prevent it, this, that, and the other thing, I came across what is called rebel canning. And that is what I'm going to show you today, is the method that I learned by watching other seasoned canners, by doing some research, reading articles about it. The methods that I found to work for me to get the texture of bean that I want at the end is what I'm going to show you today. Like anything that I show you, this is how I do it. This is not how you should do it. You need to do your own research. You need to make your own decisions. Follow your own heart. If you want the approved method, this is your source. This will tell you exactly how to do it according to the USDA. So, don't say I never showed you. I'm showing you now. It's here, covering my face. Yes. This is the book that will give you the actual instructions. I'm going to show you how I do it. So, I'm going to turn you around, show you what I'm working with, and we'll move on from there. Alright, I decided against turning you around because I'm not going to make you watch me wash beans. So, I've got 2 bags of these. These are 2-pound bags of Pinto beans. I got these at Aldi. They were, I think, $1.45, so less than $1 a pound, okay, because this is a 2-pound bag. I got 2 bags of Pinto beans. And I got 2 bags of Great Northern beans, okay? I think the Great Northern beans might have been a little bit more. I think they were $1.65, still under $1 a pound. and you're going to see how many beans we end up with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these beans, I'm going to dump them into a colander, and I am going to sort through them and pick out any that are broken, cracked, make sure there's no stones or anything in there. And then once I have everything kind of rinsed and sorted, I'll bring you back and show you what we're working with. Okay folks, we're back. So this is the whole 4 pounds of beans that I have sorted and washed, and this is what I pulled out. Okay, so you can see here, primarily this is cracked and, you know, just like this one's broken. I don't know if you can see that or not. Typically, this is really odd. Typically, I will find a stone in the beans. So I'm quite frankly very impressed with the fact that I did not find any in here. Now, as far as this goes, could you can that? Sure. Would I can it? No. And the reason being, I like my food to look pretty in the jar. Some people enjoy ugly food. If that is their preference, more power to them. I like pretty jars, so I take out all of these imperfect pieces so that when my beans are canned, I have a jar full of whole beans. So I'm going to get my jars together and ready to go, and I will bring you back and show you what it looks like when we're putting these in the jar. Okay folks, we're back, and I got everything set up here so you can see I have my jars washed and cleaned. I've got my funnel out, I've got a debubbler, I have got some vinegar and some paper towel to wipe the rims, and we're going to go ahead and get these started. So, in talking with Heather, Heather has a lot more experience with pinto beans than I do. I typically do navy, red beans, and black beans. She suggested that although with all other beans, if you're doing a quart, you typically put a cup of beans in. She suggested putting 3/4 of a cup in because otherwise they tend to get a little too thick. So I'm going to try that today. If you guys don't know Heather, Heather's over at the Needy Homesteader. I would be shocked if all of you don't know who she is. She is one of the most watched canners on YouTube. And her advice is unparalleled in my eyes. So I'm going to follow her advice. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got a 1/4 cup measuring cup here. I'm going to try and keep them about level. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 of them in there. Okay. I'll move on to my next one. Now, in the interest of you not having to sit here and watch me do all of these jars, I have also decided I am going to try a new experiment, and I am going to add some onion soup mix to mine. I don't typically can with salt or anything else, but anybody who's been watching my channel knows I love onion soup mix because it gets the flavor started in most dishes that I cook. I use the flavor of onion, garlic, all those kind of things. So I thought, why not get my beans started that way too? So I put a heaping teaspoon in each of those jars. And then I'm going to take my water. I've got warm water in my canner, so I'm pouring hot water over these beans. I'm going to go up to 1-inch headspace. The nice thing about pouring out of a kettle like this is it's a little bit easier to be exact than it is if you're ladling. So I do kind of like that. Okay, right at 1 inch there. Right at 1 inch there. Okay, then I'm going to take my debubbler. Debubble my beans. And then, one other thing when you're canning beans, if you see a bean float to the top, that is indicative of a bean that is old. So I had one that floated to the top. See? It was wrinkly, so it's past its prime. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out. I'm going to double check my headspace. It looks like I am at 1 inch on both of those. Maybe I could use a skosh more on this one here. Or like Heather likes to say, a smidgen. Alright, and then I am going to take my paper towel with some vinegar on it. Even though I'm fairly certain I didn't touch the rims. Always better to be safe than sorry. Okay. So, then I'm going to grab a lid. Pop that on there. Grab myself a ring. Those I'm keeping in warm water on the back of my stove. They don't have to be hot, but I do like to have them warm. Gets that seal starting to loosen a little. And I think we're good to go. So, there we are. I'm going to go ahead and get that in the canner. I'm going to finish getting the rest of these ready to go, and then I will bring you folks back when I'm ready to get the canner going. Okay folks, we're back. I got the lid on my canner, so I am going to bring this up to about medium. I want to bring this up slowly because I started with a warm canner, hot water in the jar, but cold beans. So I don't want everything to come up so fast and temperature shock it. So I'm going to start at a medium and then I'll bring it up until I get a steady stream of steam that comes out. At that time, I will set a timer for 10 minutes. Once it's vented for 10 minutes, I will put my regulator on there and I will wait for the pressure on my canner. This is a Presto. It needs to come up to 11 pounds for my area. And once it comes up to 11 pounds, I'm going to set a timer for 90 minutes. Beans in quarts are 90 minutes. Beans in pints are 75 minutes. So, I'm going to can these for 90 minutes. When they're done and I've let it come down completely off of pressure, I will crack the lid. I'll let it sit for another 10 minutes, and then I will bring you folks back so you can see what the finished product looks like. Okay folks, welcome back. Our canners have completed their time. I've let them come down completely off of pressure. I ended up running 2 canners. I got 13 quarts of beans out of 4 pounds of dried beans. So, just to give you kind of an estimate, it's going to be a little different for everyone. Depends on how many beans you put in the jar. If you did the full 1 cup measure in there, you're going to get less jars. You know, it's all relative, but that's what I got. So, I'm going to pull the jar out here and show you how beautiful these are. Get you a good full shot there. Headspace is perfect. You can see it ends up being just over a half a jar of beans. Got the little onion soup mix in there. And these beans are going to be delicious. So, I will get the rest of these out of the canner, but I just wanted to say to you folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely go check out. I'm sure my bestie Heather is going to do beans probably this week. So if she does, go check her out. There's lots of great things you can do with beans. Beans are amazing to have on the shelf. If you add a grain or dairy with it, it's a complete protein. You can use these in soups, stews, salads. I mean, you name it. The sky's the limit. So I hope you folks give this a try. Like I said, do your research, decide what's best for you, follow this method, follow the approved method, whatever you feel comfortable doing, but can something and love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Come back and see us soon, and as always, I hope you had a great day.